choose your hard. So when it comes to communication and building stronger relationships, this is really important that if we don't recognize the fact that we're already choosing something that maybe isn't working for us, and we're just assuming that because we're talking and they're talking that we're communicating. But if you go back to my last video about how the greatest issue that we have in communication is assuming that it's happened, this potentially is causing us problems. We could be having misunderstandings. We could be having miscommunications, just not quite each other being on the mark, but not necessarily even knowing it. And that's the scary part, is that we're assuming that they understood us when maybe they didn't. So choosing your hard, option one, would be to just continue on the way you are and letting your relationships do what they're going to do. Maybe you're not being super intentional about how you show up to relationships in your life, whether it's in your regular life or whether it's in your workspace. In work, obviously, these relationships they can be critical because they could decide your future there. If you are not showing up as a good communicator, or if your coworkers are having issues with you because of your communication skills or lack of ability to connect with people, that could potentially be a problem for you that trickles over into your life. So that is one hard that you could be choosing. Two is you could decide to put in some time, learn some new skills, become more intentional, decide that conversation really can be more about the other person when you slow down and listen to what the other person has to say, and they share their values, they share who they really are and what they need from you to be able to communicate. People will tell you everything you need to know if you just stop and listen long enough. However, the option two of hard is that it does take work. It does require you to actually make some shifts in your life, to change the way that you're showing up, to become more intentional, to pay attention. And it's a long game. None of this stuff happens overnight. There's this law of reciprocity that has to kick in. They have to feel warm and fuzzy and wonderful and around you, and then they will also then want to reciprocate because they feel good around you. So there's two hards. You choose which one, the one that leads to continued miscommunication or the one that leads to stronger, more communicative relationships.